And so we've come to this, Shrek Forever After, Shrek the Final Chapter, until Shrek 5 comes out, because that is currently in development. And per the mid-credits scene of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, yes, we are getting Shrek 5. So I'm going to call it Shrek 4, Shrek Forever After for the duration of this review. So Shrek, once again voiced by Mike Myers, as he has been through this whole series, is now long settled into married life and he's fully domesticated. He's a father of triplets now. And he's starting to grow bored by the repetitiveness of his days as a father. He's starting to long for the days when he felt like a real ogre, when wanted signs of his face were posted all over town.
Could you do that ogre roar of yours for my son? He's a big fan.
Do the roar.
So our villain, Rumpelstiltskin, notices this, and he dupes Shrek into signing a contract. A day for a day, basically, is the stipulation. Shrek gets 1 day of being a real ogre again, but Rumpelstiltskin takes a day from Shrek in return. And what did you know it? It's the day Shrek was born. So this turns into basically Dreamworks' answer to It's a Wonderful Life. Shrek finds himself in an alternate version of Far, Far Away, where ogres are hunted, Rumpelstiltskin rules the land as King Harold signed the deed over to him. And he and Fiona never met. Shrek was never born. He never rescued Fiona from the tower. He never met Donkey. Donkey's a slave. Donkey has no clue who he is. And he never met Puss in Boots in Shrek 2 either. Puss in Boots is like this really spoiled, chonky cat. So Shrek must find a way out of the contract to restore his world and reclaim his happily ever after. Which, wouldn't you know it, involves true love's kiss. Now I will say, I didn't mention it in my previous review for Shrek the Third, but the animation really did come a long way since 2001. Like, the computer-generated images that you're able to see here are just breathtaking. The colors in this movie and in Shrek the Third are just eye-popping. It is absolutely gorgeous to look at. And even though conceptually speaking, and It's a Wonderful Life concept within a kid's movie here, I think that is a very valuable thing for kids to actually look at and glean. Which honestly can be a double-edged sword, because once you figure out what the concept is of Shrek Forever After, you know the lesson within the first 5 minutes, and they're gonna kind of keep hamming it in. It's not a bad lesson whatsoever, but at the same time, the script is very repetitive in terms of like, hey, this is what we want to teach you kids, okay? Just make sure you value everything you have, because you don't know what you have until it's gone. And I actually do have fun with this alternate universe and hearing these actors portray different versions of the characters that they've come to know. Mike Myers having to act desperate. Mike Myers having to go in and woo Cameron Diaz. Shrek having to go in and woo Fiona this time. Mike Myers also having to be annoying to basically prove his friendship with Donkey is real. Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots having to act spoiled and not like a badass. And of course, Princess Fiona, who is the leader of this ogre rebellion. Cameron Diaz really shines in this movie. Because this version of Fiona was never rescued, so she becomes very bitter and very stone cold and numb to a lot of situations around her. In other words, not prone to love easily. Which of course makes for an interesting dynamic between her and Shrek in this. And I do appreciate the fact that this movie gives you a new villain in Rumpelstiltskin, and this guy, like, you just want to pick him up and chuck him off a cliff, you know? He is so annoying. But here is the crux of my issue with Shrek Forever After, and this is why I think this is my least favorite entry. Even though conceptually speaking, yes, this is a more focused narrative than Shrek 3, I think it misses the true key as to what made the Shrek movies so great in the past. They were all really funny. Shrek Forever After is not really as funny as the other three. Like, yeah, I was sitting there, I was definitely interested in seeing where the story was going to go, and I was interested in seeing how these characters were going to play off of each other in this situation. But it doesn't really lead to comedy. And aside from Rumpelstiltskin, the new characters that you meet along the way, like the ogres that are a part of this rebellion, I don't remember a single darn one of their names. Like, I know one of them is voiced by John Hamm, and he kind of looks like John Hamm, it's weird. But other than that, nothing. Like, I don't remember a darn thing about these creatures. Like, the only cool thing that I feel like this movie did that was new with the ogre lore was the ear thing. Yeah, if they hold their nose and they just blow into it, sound comes out of their ears. And I remember when I was like, I don't know, like 13 when this movie came out and I was watching it in the theater, I was like, holy shit, that's actually really cool. That's new. And it's not like the movie isn't creative at all, because like I said, it's doing a lot of really fun things with these characters in this It's a Wonderful Lifestyle universe. But my main issue with this movie honestly kind of boils down to this. The first act of Shrek Forever After really struggles to find its footing. It's like they're writing themselves into certain situations that they want to see happen. And you're sitting there for like the first 20 minutes and you're like, Does this movie even need to happen? Like, Shrek and Fiona have their happily ever after. They are happily married in their swamp. They're isolated from everybody else. They have kids. And then Shrek all of a sudden, okay, he's sick of that. So what was the point of going through all that trouble to get your happily ever after in Shrek 3 and, God forbid, in Shrek 2? And I don't want to sit here and say the first act of this movie cancels out what made Shrek 2 so freaking good as a romantic comedy. But you get what I'm saying? It just doesn't feel like the character of Shrek. It doesn't feel like what made Shrek so interesting as a character. And I get that he's an ogre and he wants to be an ogre. But when he says stuff to Fiona like, I wish I never rescued you out of the tower, like, that is way too damn mean. I know he's a hothead, but he was never written to be that much of a hothead. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just overthinking this, man, but I much prefer Shrek 3 over Shrek 4 because at least Shrek 3 warrants enough of an existence. Even though Shrek Forever After is definitely a more focused movie, which is what I wish Shrek 3 was, because if you remember in my review, Shrek 3 had way too much going on for 90 minutes. The whole premise of Shrek Forever After just feels so forced. Like, part of me honestly kind of wishes that they just kept it as the trilogy, and then you come out with what is now Shrek 5, that would be Shrek 4. Like, I don't think this movie needed to happen. But regardless, I do think they do well enough with the material that they have. I think the animation, like I said, is breathtaking, and the alternate universe stuff is really fun. I just wish that this movie was stronger out of the gate. I'm gonna give Shrek Forever After a C+. I don't know, is that being generous? Let me know what you guys think of Shrek Forever After down in the comments. Do you guys prefer this one over Shrek 3? Which one is your favorite of the four? As always, I love discussing all things in movies and entertainment here on The Regular. If you want to join a great community of geeks, film lovers, and entertainment lovers alike, you've come to the right place. So do consider subscribing today and tap on that thumbs up as well. That would be a huge help. And stay tuned for more videos very soon. I'm in the process of putting together some nice retrospective playlists for you as we kick off the summer season. And even though we're done with the main Shrek series, there's still one more that I've yet to talk about. The original Puss in Boots movie from the early 2010s. I've already reviewed The Last Wish when it first came out on this channel. I will add that to this playlist once the Puss in Boots review is out. But after that, that's it. All the Shrek movies will have been reviewed over here. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But thank you so much again for your support, guys. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.